Good morning, future teachers, and welcome to our webinar entitled Becoming a Professional Teacher, our MVP, Mission, Vocation, and Profession. In the next slide, we have our learning objectives, which is comprehend why teaching is considered to be calling by perceived vocation, mission, and profession, understand the requirements or the qualities to become a good teacher, know the criteria to be a certified professional teacher, importance of teachers in social institutions and their responsibilities, and recognize the ABCs of a good teacher. In our first topic, we have Miss Julia for our topic entitled Vocation, Mission, and Profession, its definitions and etymologies.
So good morning everyone, I am Julia Nicole Arporpora, and prior to our topic, let me first discuss what is vocation, what is mission, and what is profession first. So next, vocation. Vocation is a type of work that you feel you are suited to do and to which you should give all your time and energy. So ito yung mga trabaho na ginagawa natin dahil pakiramdam natin, bagay tayo dun sa trabaho na yon. And at the same time, itong trabaho na ito parang tinatawag tayo or may someone something na kadalasang divine na nagtutulak sa atin para gawin yung trabaho na yun. Kaya same din siya sa calling, plus it comes from the Latin word vocare, which means to call. So next, mission. Mission is a type of work usually important that someone is given to do. So ito naman yung mga trabaho na ginagawa natin dahil ito ay iniutos sa atin o iniatang. Tapos kailangan natin siyang ma-accomplish. So it is synonymous to assignment and task. Then it comes from the Latin word missio, which means sending away. The root word mittere, which means to send. The next, profession. Profession is any type of work that needs special training or a particular skill, often one that is respected because it involves a high level of education. So ito naman yung mga trabaho na ginagawa natin dahil skilled tayo doon. Kumbaga, nag-aral tayo or nag-undergo tayo ng training para sa specific trabaho na yun. And at the same time, nababayaran din tayo doon o kumikita tayo doon, sumusweldo. So it comes from the Latin word professio, which means public declaration. Root word is profiteri, which means to declare. So next. So, ayun, yung meaning ng vocation, mission, and profession. So, pag sinabing vocation ay based on our guts, tapos yung mission is based on an order, tapos profession is based on what we have been trained of. So, yun. So, paano naman yung pakahulugan sa vocation, mission, and profession sa context ng ikigai? So, baka may pamilyar na sa inyo sa ikigai. So, yun. Discuss ko lang ulit. So, next po. What is ikigai? Ikigai is that which gives your life worth, meaning, or purpose. It is a Japanese concept that combines the terms iki, meaning alive or life, and gai, meaning benefit or worth. So, literally translated siya as life purpose. So, ito yung mga nagbibigay meaning sa existence mo. So, sabi din sa nabasa ko, yun yung reason mo to wake up every morning. So, it is similar to the French term raison d'être or reason for being. So, yun. So, next po. The concept of ikigai as a both purpose in life and both personal and social dimensions is captured by the well-known ikigai diagram. So, kapag sinabi pala natin ikigai diagram, ikigai, pag sinabi natin ikigai, sorry. Pag ikigai, yun yung, hindi lang siya self-fulfillment, ano din siya, dapat napapakinabangan din siya ng society mo. Kumbaga, hindi lang ikaw yung masaya or hindi lang ikaw yung nakikinabang. Ikigai siya kung pati yung society sa paligid mo, nag-benefit din from that gawain. So, ayan, dito makikita niyo sa tabi yung ikigai diagram. So, it is composed of 4 spheres na, ayun, mga bagay na love mo or the world needs it, you are paid for it, and you are great at it. So, sa gitna nitong apat na spheres na to, ay doon matatagpuan yung ikigay. So, kung halimbawa may isang bagay ka o gawain na nag-fall sa apat na spheres na yan, yun yung ikigay mo. So, ano ba yung mga bilog na yan? So, discuss natin po ngayon. So, next po. Unang bilog, yung you love it. But these are what we do or experience that brings us the most joy in life and makes us feel most alive and fulfilled. So, ito yung mga bagay, gawain na nagbibigay kasiyahan sa atin. Yung pag ginagawa natin ay masaya tayo. So, pwedeng, pagsusulat o panonood ng mga pelikula or yung mag-spend ka ng time with your friends. Parang ganun. Basta yung bibigay kasiyahan sa atin. So, yun. Dun yun sa mga dyan yun. Pupunta sa sphere na yan. So, next, you are great at it. So, dito naman, is yung anything you are particularly good at. So, yun, pwedeng skills you've learned, hobbies you've pursued, or talents you've shown since an early age. So, ayun nga, kumbaga, parang halimbawa, magaling kang humarap sa tao, yung magaling kang makipag-usap, magaling kang magluto, magaling kang mag-drawing, ganyan. So, bale, diyan yun papasok sa sphere na yan. So, next po, you are paid for it. So, sphere naman na to is what someone else is willing to pay for you or what the market will bear. So, dito naman, halimbawa, may produkto kang kayang gawin na may market na handang bumili. Or halimbawa, may service kang kayang i-offer na may market din na handang magbayad para sa'yo. So basically, yung mga kahit ano na napagkakakitaan mo. So, dun yan sa sphere na yan. So, next, the world needs it. So, dito naman, the needs of the world that might be based on your impressions or needs expressed by the others. Yung mundo na tinutukoy dito is, halimbawa, pwedeng magsimula siya sa, or halimbawa, dun lang siya sa family mo, yung sa family mo, or halimbawa, pataas, halimbawa sa community mo, kailangan ng community mo, or kailangan ng bansa mo, or yung whole world na mismo, yung the world itself, yung mga pangangailangan nito. So, yun. Dun yung mga nakikita mong kailangan ng mundo mo, or basta yung sa perspective mo, yung mga pangangailangan ng nasa paligid mo. So, dun yan sa sphere na yan. So, next, therefore, sabi, sa ikigai, yung mga bagay na love mo at the same time you're good at, yun yung passion mo. So, ano pala yung passion mo na? Pag sinabi yung passion, labas muna tayo sa ikigai ha. Pag passion, yung mga bagay na ginagawa natin dahil gusto natin or malapit yun sa puso natin. Kumbaga, kung anong pinagkaiba niya doon sa vocation kanina. So, bali pagka passion, yung feeling para gawin yun or yung drive force para gawin yung bagay yun sa yung mismo nararamdaman sa puso mo, sa sarili mo. Unlike sa vocation na parang naramdaman mo siya sa labas. Halimbawa, yun nga, parang may narinig kang may bumulong sa'yo bigla. Basta yung parang may nagsabi sa'yo or naramdaman mo sa labas na kailangan mong gawin trabaho yun. Kaya diba may mga makikita tayo na iba yung passion nila dun sa naging trabaho. Ba yung mga mahilig sa pagluluto. Ba passion nila is cooking. Tapos, pero ang kinuha nila or ang naging title nila pagdating ng araw is pari or teacher. Kasi sabi nila parang binitawan nila yung passion nila dahil parang may tumawag sa kanila o parang pakaramdam nila mas kailangan sila dun sa larangan na yun. So, yun yung vocation ng passion. And balik tayo sa ikigai. So, pag sinabing passion, yun daw yung nasa pagitan ng what you love at saka what you're good at. Kasi hindi naman lahat, pag minsan kahit gustong-gusto natin yung bagay na yun, gawan yun, hindi naman tayo magaling. Kagaya ko, halimbawa, I love music, pero hindi ako love ng music, hindi ako magaling kumanta, basta gusto ko lang nakikinig, pero hindi ako yung tipong mga basta, So, yun. So, hindi ko siya pwedeng, kung i-base natin sa ikigai, hindi ko siya pwedeng tawagin passion ko kasi love ko lang siya pero hindi ako magaling doon. So, ayun naman, yun naman yung profession. Profession naman daw is yung sa pagitan ng kung saan tayo magaling at saka kung saan tayo pwedeng kumita o yung pwede tayong bayaran. So, halimbawa, yung magaling ka magluto. So, pwedeng, halimbawa, ikaw yung pumasok sa bilang chef or ikaw mismo yung magtayo ng resto para mapagkakitaan mo yung talent mo na yun. So, ayun. So, pag sinabi naman natin vocation, sabi sa Ikigai, ang vocation daw ay yung pagitan ng nababayaran ka at the same time kailangan ng mundo. So, halimbawa, kung dun sa lugar nyo ay kailangan ng mga volunteer, kahit sabihin ng mga volunteer lang para sa, diba, sa election, mag-election na, so kailangan ng volunteer ng mga, diba, so pwedeng nababayaran ka doon at the same time kailangan din yun. So, yun, yung parang vocation, yung pagiging volunteer mo. Then, mission naman ay yung mga bagay na love mo at the same time kailangan ng mundo. Bale yun. So, kapag halimbawa may isang bagay o gawain na passion mo na, profession mo pa, then vocation mo pa, tapos mission mo pa, yun yung ikigai mo. So, magbigay tayo ng example. Halimbawa yung sa teaching. Yung mga total to teachers din, karamihan sa mga teachers, nagsasabi na nahanap nila yung ikigai nila or may ikigai na sila, which is yun nga, yung teaching. So, teaching is their passion because they love it at they're good at it. Bale, gusto nila magturo talaga dati pa, kaya nag-aral sila para maging teacher, para mas effective yung teaching nila. Then at the same time, profession nila ang teaching kasi they're good at it, at the same time, nababayaran sila. So, vocation din dahil nababayaran sila, kailangan din siya ng mundo. So, mission din dahil gusto nga nila ang pagtuturo ng teaching. Tapos, kailangan din siya ng mundo. So, yun. Doon natatapos yung report ko. So, para sa mas detailed na explanation ng profession, vocation, mission sa teaching, so, yung sunod na reporter na mag-discuss si Mr. Janisha. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Julia, for a brief overview for the topic I am going to discuss. So, why is it teaching as a calling? Okay, the teaching profession can be regarded in three ways: the teaching as your vocation, teaching as a mission, and teaching as a profession. So, the first one is teaching as your vocation. And we have here a quote by Thomas Merton. He said that a man knows when he has found his vocation when he stops thinking about how to live and begins to live. So once na makita daw natin or ma-discover natin yung vocation natin in life, hindi na natin aalalahanin pa or di na natin iisipin pa kung ano yung dapat natin gawin para mabuhay. Bagkus, when we found that vocation na para sa atin, doon ay ikot yung buhay natin. Yun na yung magiging buhay natin. Okay? So, teaching is more than noble profession. It is a vocation, a calling. So, teaching daw ay isa sa tinaguriang noble profession, meaning kasama yung teaching sa most admired and respetadong profession. Okay? So, if there's a call, there must be a caller. And someone who is called, there must also be a response. Tulad nga ng sa mga Christians, ang caller nila ay si God, di ba? And sa mga Muslims, ang caller nila ay si Allah. So, believers in the Supreme Being will look at His voiceless call to have a vertical dimension. While in non-believers, the call is experienced, but viewed only solely along a horizontal dimension. It is like a man calling another man, never a superior being calling man. When we hear the word vocation, most often nire-refer nila to into a religious vocation. Katulad ng big callings like marriage o kaya single blessedness. But vocation, it's not only refer to a religious vocation. It can also refer to a call to do something, like to teach or to heal the sick. But whatever our calling or station in life, we must always remember that the call is always to serve. Okay? The Christians among you realize that the Bible is full of stories of men and women who were called by God to do something not for themselves but for others. Diba? We know Abraham. Siya yung unang tinawag ni God to become a father of great nation. May call si Abraham from God to become a father of the great nation. And we have also Moses, right? Siya yung he was called in Egypt to lead God's chosen people out of Egypt in order to free them from slavery. So, si Moses din, itinalaga din siya ni God para iligtas yung mga kababayan niya na mapalaya mula sa masamang faraon na namumuno doon sa Egypt. Also, di ba in the New Testament, Mary also called to become the mother of our Savior, Jesus Christ. So, inatasan siya para maging ina ng ating Panginoon. Sa mga Islam naman, si Muhammad, the last of the prophets to be called by Allah to spread His teaching. So siya yung itinalaga ni Allah na ipakalat yung kanyang aral, mga salita. And all of them responded positively to God's call. So among so many, you were called to teach. Lang din nitong mga biblical figures, di rin nila lubos na maunawaan the events surrounding their call. At in their great faith, they answered yes. Mahirap nga naman talagang maniwala na it's the God's call for you. Kasi in the first place, hindi mo nga alam kung nag-exist ba si God, kung meron bang God. At for this is a matter of faith, yung iba, kahit di nila nakikita si God, naniniwala sila na mayroong Diyos sapagkat nararamdaman nila ito at naniniwala pa rin sila. And the fact that nasa second year na tayo ng kolehiyo na nag-aaral ng edukasyon is just significant na we said yes to the call to teach. Pero di ba nga karamihan or yung iba dito, hindi naman talaga pangarap ang maging isang guro. Dito ka nag-prepare to become one. Okay, so next. Vocation is a strong feeling of suitability for a particular career or occupation. Unlike any other profession, teaching requires dedication and service in order for an individual to be considered as a real teacher. Sabi nga ni Miss Julia, yung vocation, ito yung faith na pakiramdam natin na ito yung destined para sa atin. And yung vocation din, it requires dedication and faith commitment. When you consider yourself as a real teacher, you should perceive teaching not just a career, but as a vocation and faith commitment. And so, if teaching is your vocation, then you said yes to your call to teach. You commit yourself in the total transformation of the learner. You also consider teaching as a lifetime commitment, thus aim through the years towards quality teaching. Tulad nga ng sinabi ko kanina, a teacher who practices teaching as his vocation responds to the strong feelings or calling for service. Like the historic biblical figures that I have mentioned a while ago. They respond to their calls with utmost dedication. So in summary, vocation is only for some who are really dedicated not just to work but also to serve other people. That is vocation. So remember, teaching must be your vocation, your calling. Our next is teaching as your mission. So let's start to a quote by Richard Bach. He said that here is the test to find whether your mission on earth is finished. If you are alive, then it is not. So, we sent in this world to accomplish a mission. And sabi nga nila, kaya ka pa nag-exist sa mundong ito dahil may mission ka pang dapat gawin at tapusin. Ang sa atin, 'di ba? Ang mission mo bilang anak sa magulang mo ay makapagtapos ka ng pag-aaral. And when you graduate, pag nagawa mo 'yon, sabi mo na mission accomplished. So dito naman, kanina 'di ba, you said yes to your call sa vocation. Sa mission, ito yung respond sa call mo to be a teacher, and yung mission mo sa mundo is to teach. Your mission is the task entrusted to you to this world. Ito yung task na inassign sa atin, yung responsibilidad na ipinagkatiwala sa atin na kailangan nating tapusin. So if teaching is your mission, then it means teaching as your mission, it is the task entrusted to you in this world. Every teacher has its own unique mission, purpose, or objective that they need to accomplish. We are also expected to contribute to the betterment of this world in our own unique ways. Okay? So, some teachers regard teaching as just a job, but others see it as their mission. So, ano nga ba yung pinagkaiba ng mission sa job? So, if you are doing it only because you are paid for it, then it's a job. If you are doing it not only for the pay but also for the service, it's a mission. If you quit because your boss and colleague criticized you, job. If you keep on teaching out of love, it's a mission. If you teach because it does not interfere with your other activities, it is a job. And if you are committed to teaching, even if it means letting go of other activities, it's a mission. Okay? If you quit because no one praises or thanks you for what you do, it's a job. If you remain teaching even though nobody recognizes your efforts, it's a mission. You know what? It's hard to get excited about a teaching job. It's almost impossible not to get excited about a mission. Our concern is success, only success, and it's a job. If our concern is success plus faithfulness, it's a mission. So what is exactly a mission? Ang mission natin is to be an competent, effective educator of learning. Part knowledge is not only just what is written in books, but also in life. I mean, hindi lang lahat ng tinuturo natin dapat nakabase siya sa book. We should times connect them in the real world. Okay? Our mission is to touch hearts and minds while reading, to be a better individual who has a strong desire to contribute to the betterment of society and serve the country. You cannot take your studies for granted. 4 years of pre-service natin ang mag-e-equip sa'yo kaalaman, skills, attitude to become an effective teacher. Okay? The next one is the teaching as your profession. Profession, ito yung job or occupation natin. Professional, ito yung taong engaged or yung qualified in that certain profession. Why does a profession require long and arduous years of preparation and is striving for excellence? So bakit nga ba? It is for us to be able to give more service. which is the end goal of a profession. Continuing professional education is a must. Nga nila, once a teacher, forever a student. So if you consider teaching as your profession, then you must be willing to go through a long period of preparation. You must be willing to go through continuing education or yung tinatawag nilang continuous development of potentials. Of course, you must strive for excellence. You must commit yourself to moral, ethical, and religious values and dedicate yourself to service. So we cannot give what we don't have. So what we should do is to make efforts, be hardworking, or work hard in order for you to be greater. Through that, we are able to have one. Just strive for it. Okay? So the next is the pwede na mentality versus excellence. Striving for excellence, ito yung another element of profession. This element brings us to the issue of pwede na. Pwede na is inimical to excellence. Be expressed in these ways like, ganyan yan. Wala tayong magagawa na mahalata yan. Kung na yan masasagot, naggastos o trabaho lang yan. All of these are sign ng defeatism. It is often associated with mediocrity. This, along with other possible reasons that we are yet to be proven, is why we usually settle for even if it's beaten substandard. But there are significant moments in our daily lives we should not let this pwede na attitude prevail. Especially if we never want to miss out on the best things in our life, di ba? Kaya if we stick by doing that, di natin maaabot yung excellent, okay? Kaya don't settle for less. Strive for excellence. Okay, ito na natapos yung aking discussion. So again, vocation is a calling. Mission is an assigned task to you. And profession, it's your job. So I hope you guys figured out if your teaching is your vocation, mission, or profession. For the next speaker, I would like to call on Mr. Jacob Ogbak to discuss the qualities of being a good teacher.
Alright, thank you, John Leonard. So next po tayo, personal qualities. Personality is the sum of one's personal characteristics. It is seen as one's identity. We can say that teachers are often judged more strictly than other professionals. The personality they project determines the impressions they make upon the students and colleagues. They must be consistent, true, and authentic. So, personality bukod sa appearance ng isang tao, ito yung una nating makikita, mapapansin. Halimbawa na ito, kunyari, si ganito or si ganyan, pag nakikipag-usap sa atin or pag nakikipag-interact sa atin, medyo may pagkabastos or mayabang, yun yung magiging identity nila na tatatak sa utak natin. Kaya pag in-approach natin sila, medyo may ilang tayo kasi baka mamaya, may bastos yung maging dating ng usapan. So, we can say that teachers are often judged more strictly other than professionals. Ang magandang halimbawa na ito, social media. Kahit hindi ka naman teacher or professional, social media yung isang platform para ma-judge yung isang tao. And bilang teachers, binuview kasi tayo, di ba, as a role model. Dahil doon, nagkakaroon ng standards na pag hindi natin na-meet, kahit sa social media pa yan, i-judge nila tayo. Sasabihin nila, ganto ganyan, ugali nito, yung mga pinopost nito, ni ganto ganyan. So medyo pangit din kapag ang ginagawa kasi ng ibang teacher dito, gumagawa sila ng mga separate accounts. May personal account sila and meron silang account na pang sa school. Yun ang ginagawa nila para yung mga ipopost dun sa magkaibang account, mas yung pinopost sa personal account, syempre, iba-iba na rin yun. Ang pinopost sa
account ng sa school, yung mga school related or anything na ganon, tulad ng ganon. The personality they project determines the impressions they make upon students and colleagues. So halimbawa, yung isang teacher mo, parang lagi nakasimangot o laging galit, para sa students, ang impression, ang dating nun, o at saka sa colleagues, ang dating nun, parang ang hirap mo i-approach kasi lagi kang nakasimangot, lagi kang galit. So parang nakakailang nun. Parang tulad lang dun sa explanation sa identity kanina, nakakailang nalapitan ka kasi baka mamaya magalit ka. Kasi nga, ang personality na pinoproject mo medyo may pagka, yun nga, mukhang galit lagi or mukhang lagi malungkot. So next slide tayo. Passion. Passion in teaching is a compelling force that emerges from one's inborn love for children. Passion does not die nor diminish. They feel they will live and die as a teacher. So passion, ito yung isa sa pinakamahalaga, syempre, kasi ito yung nagtutulak sa atin. Tulad ng sabi dito, compelling force siya. So ito yung nagtutulak sa atin para magturo at saka magkaroon ng interest sa pagtuturo. Kailangan natin yan. Hindi pwedeng wala tayo yan. Kasi kung wala tayo yan, baliwala lang din yung pagiging teacher natin. Parang ang magiging boring, no? So next tayo. Humor. Humor stands for anything funny which elicits a smile, laughter, or amusing reaction. It is an essential quality of teachers that serves a number of purposes. So maganda dito, tulad nung binanggit sa nakaraang webinar, ang example nito is icebreakers. Ang maganda dito, kapag seryoso na yung class, masyado seryoso, medyo nakaka-stress din kasi para sa estudyante. Siyempre, mas masaya kapag medyo chill-chill lang, enjoy lang kayo sa klase. May mga icebreakers sa pagitan ng mga seryosong discussions. Mas interesting at mas masaya yun, mas na-enjoy, mas nakikinig yung estudyante, mas nag-pay sila ng attention. Kasi tsaka may makikipag-interact din sila sa buong klase. So, next slide tayo. Values and attitude, no? Open-mindedness, pangalawa, fairness and impartiality, pangatlo, sincerity and honesty, and lastly, professionalism. So una, open-mindedness bilang future teachers at teacher, kailangan open-minded tayo. Hindi pwedeng ipilit natin kung ano yung alam natin. Hindi pwedeng sarado yung pag-iisip natin sa opinion ng iba, lalo na sa estudyante natin. So, fairness and impartiality. Ayaw natin na meron tayong bias kasi kawawa naman yung ibang estudyante. Tsaka medyo hindi rin talaga maganda na meron tayong bias or favoritism sa mga estudyante natin. Dapat, kung anong ibigay, kung paano natin gradean or tignan yung ibang estudyante, ganun din dapat ang iano natin sa lahat. So, sincerity and honesty. Kapag, example, honesty, no, pag nagkamali tayo, aminin natin nagkamali tayo, huwag na tayo magmatigas. Katulad lang din sa open-mindedness, pag kinorek tayo ng estudyante natin at alam na at lumabas na mas tama sila, aminin na natin at magpasalamat tayo kasi nga, kaakibat ng passion, kailangan bilang teachers, tulad ng binanggit last webinar, once you became a teacher, you never stop learning. So, bilang teachers, natututo rin tayo, hindi lang tayo nagtuturo, natututo rin tayo mula sa mga estudyante natin. Pag nagkamali tayo, tanggapin natin yung correction kung mali talaga, at tanggapin, at yun, aminin natin na mali tayo, huwag na tayo magmatigas, so magmayabang na porket teacher tayo, mas tayo ang may alam. So, professionalism, pagdating sa mga pag-handle ng mga ng klase, dapat professional tayo. Wag tayo yung tinitake natin personally yung mga unless kapag syempre kung personal na talaga, ibang usapan na talaga yun. Pero kapag medyo nagkakagulo, handle natin personally, no? Professionally. Wag tayo yung porket magulo ng estudyante mong to, aabangan mo sa labas, ayain mo na suntukan tayo. Wag ganoon. I-handle natin ng professional ng maayos. So next slide tayo. Patience, yan. In teaching, patience refers to a teacher's uncomplaining nature, self-control, and persistence. So bilang future teachers at teacher, alam nating magulo yung mga estudyante natin na talagang masakit sa ulo yan pagdating ng panahon talaga. Darating at darating talaga na kahit anong passion mo, masakit talaga sa ulo yan. So ang kailangan natin dyan, pasensya lang. So tulad nung pag-handle tulad nung professionalism, i-handle lang natin ng matiwasay. Wag tayo, tulad na sinabi ko, wag nating aayain ng suntukan ng mga estudyante natin. Pasensya lang talaga at yon handle natin professionally, no? So next tayo. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is synonymous to eagerness and excitement. Enthusiastic teachers are full of energy and dynamism. Their passion and love for their children are easily felt, and not long after they leave their lively presence in the classroom. So enthusiasm, parang passion lang din. Ito yung pagkakaroon nga natin ng eagerness and excitement sa pagtuturo. Kapag enthusiastic yung teacher, mas magpe-pay ng attention yung estudyante kasi parang nakakahawa kasi siya. Yun ang magiging dating na kapag enthusiastic yung teacher, no. Next slide tayo. Professional qualities. Professional qualities, a professional teacher perceives himself or herself as someone who can affect change or learning, sense of efficacy, because he or she is an expert in what he or she teaches, subject matter knowledge, and in how he or she teaches. So bilang professional teacher, dapat alam mo na bilang professional teacher ka, kaya mong magturo ng maayos at alam mo kung ano yung tinuturo mo at aware ka kung paano ka magturo, kung effective ka ba or hindi. So next slide. Professional qualities. Una, control of the knowledge base of teaching and learning and use of this knowledge to guide the science and art of his or her teaching practice. So dapat alam natin yung base of teaching and learning at kung paano natin gagamitin tong kaalaman na to para para ma-apply natin ito sa ating pagtuturo, no? So next, repertoire of best teaching practice and can use this to instruct children in classrooms and to work with adults in the school setting. So kailangan meron tayong iba't ibang klase na alam na kumbaga, yun nga, teaching practice kung paano tayo magturo, dapat alam natin iba-iba. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng estudyante nakakapag-adapt sa isang method lang ng teaching. So, meron tayong ginagawag na gamify ng pag-gamify ng pagtuturo. Iba't ibang method, iba't ibang pwede nating i-apply alternate or kayo bahala kung paano mo i-apply 'yon. Pero yun nga, tulad ng sabi dito, kailangan meron tayong alam na marami tayong alam na method ng teaching para mas maging effective tayo sa pagtuturo. So, dispositions and skills to approach all aspects of higher work in a reflective, collegial, and problem-solving manner. So, dapat meron tayong skills para i-approach, dapat meron tayong critical thinking para ma-solve natin ang isang problema na meron sa klase or outside the class. So, kailangan lang natin i-approach to kasama, tulad nga nito, professionalism. I-approach natin siya professionally, wag natin madaliin yung mga decision na ginagawa natin dahil nga magre-reflect to sa personality natin at bilang isang professional teacher. So, view of learning to teach as a lifelong process and disposition and skills for working towards improving his or her own teaching as well as improving schools. So, kailangan bilang teacher, future teachers, ang pananaw dapat natin sa pagtuturo is isang lifetime process, no? Lifelong process. Kasi nga, tulad na sinabi ko kanina, na nasabi rin nung nakaraang webinar, once you became a teacher, you'll never stop learning. So, dapat alam natin to at willing tayong mag-improve bilang teacher. I-improve din natin yung ability natin. Yun. So, next slide tayo. a teacher as a profession. Ipapasa na po natin to kay Janela May. So, Janela May, ikaw na po.
So, thank you, Jacob, for that wonderful presentation. To proceed, my name is Janela May Austria, and my topic for today is all about a teacher as a professional. So, next slide. So, let's define first what is a profession. A profession is an occupation that requires technical competence, knowledge of expertise, surveys, standards, and ethics of professional conduct. It is also the application of intellectual strategies to the common business of life, obtained as a result of prolonged and specialized training. So, what are the examples of the professionals that we have? Doctors, lawyers, engineers, and of course, us teachers. Teachers provide education by educating themselves first, just like what we are having right now. We are being trained in college to become competent and professional teachers. Hindi lang sa larangan or sa subject matter that we have chosen, but also to the world of teaching. We are being trained about the um, quality pedagogies, um, ways of teaching, and so on and so forth. So next slide. So teaching is considered a noble profession, the noblest of all professions, as it's said to be the parent profession. Yes, I agree that teaching is a considered noble profession, and to the term parent profession because hindi kung walang guro, walang other professions. Kasi we are being trained in school, and in school, ang mga professionals na nandun is of course teachers. So, that is the importance of teachers in the society then. So, pursuing teaching profession is a calling because it is not simply a job of educating the young minds, but also it is a vocation requiring skills, drive, and passion to educate. So, it means hindi lang pala sa mga pare or sa mga madre ang ginagamit na term na calling, but also in teachers na because teaching requires or it is a challenging profession. It requires a lot of sacrifices, a lot of determination, and kaya bago ka pumasok sa larangan ng teaching is you are ready to all that sacrifices or all that challenges. But um, kahit challenging ang pagiging isang teacher, it is also a rewarding profession. Kasi, yes, ang ultimate goal of being a teacher is to educate students, impart knowledge, but also, ang goal din natin is to influence the students beyond academics. So, it's sabihin, to build bonds with them, to influence their lives to be a productive and responsible citizens or professional someday. So, to proceed, next topic is the criteria of of a professional teacher. So, we have 6 criteria. So, the first one is the professional academic preparation. So, just like we are right now, we are professional teachers should or teachers should undergo or graduated in a 4-year program in education. So number 2 is license and commitment to the service. So of course, in order for you to be called as professional is kailangan pumasa ka muna sa licensure exam for teachers and you are being acknowledged or certified by the PRC or the Professional Regulation Commission. And of course, you should be committed to the service that um, you acknowledge, and that is public service of teaching or commitment or teaching. So the third one that we have is the public service and altruism. So pag sinabi natin altruism, it is a term used to describe um, being selfless. So as we all know, teachers should be selfless, na mas dapat inuuna ang kapakanan ng mga estudyante before themselves. And also, as like what I've said kanina, teaching requires a lot of sacrifices, a lot of challenging moments. So, talagang matites ka as a person or as a teacher. So, the fourth one is the legal practice of the profession. So, kapag sinabing legal, ibig sabihin, teachers are the helping hands of the government to disseminate education to the students, to the youth. Okay? So, kasi ayun nga yung part natin as teachers to impart knowledge, impart education. And of course, as we all know, school are considered as the second home for students. That's why we are also the second parents of students someday. That's why malaki yung magiging responsibility natin as a teacher and as a parent. So the fifth one is the adherence to professional ethics. So simply dapat to uphold the title of becoming a professional teacher as we acknowledge the presence or we follow um, the code of ethics for professional teachers in order for us to become role models for students. So last is the number 6 is the membership to professional organization. So in order for us to take care of our welfare as a teacher, we should be part of the organizations that we have. So for example, National Organization of Professional Teachers Incorporation, Manila Public School Teachers Association, Mathematics Teachers Association of the Philippines or the MTAP. So simply the organizations that fits perfectly to you. You should be part of that organization. So to proceed the webinar, may I call on Carl Puerdo to take my spot. Thank you.
Here our topic, teachers as active members of social institutions. We're going to talk about social institutions and how teachers are going to be part of these or members of these social institutions. Next slide, please. Social institutions. What are social institutions? Social institutions are special structures which are organized to meet the basic needs of society. There are 4 social institutions: family, education, religion or church, and government. So basically, itong social institution ay mga institution na po-provide ng services which is nag-shape sa ating mga miyembro ng society, tayong citizens ng isang bansa. Kung i-compare natin, which is food services like supermarkets, and kung say about entertainment, which is video games. Dito naman, mga institutions to na basic needs like public serving, learning, doing researches, which benefits our society to improve. Please, next slide, please. Our first social institution, which is family. It is a group of people who are related by marriage, blood, or adoption, and who often live together, sharing a common residence and common economic resources. So basically, family, nanay, tatay, ate, kuya, kapatid, bunso, si Toto. Of course, this group first group as circle, societal circle. Sila yung unang maka-interact mo, sila yung unang first interaction, sila yung unang makikita mo, sila yung bago ka makamit ng different person. And of course, si nanay tatay, which is nag-guide sa iyo, or kung hindi available si nanay tatay, si lolo lola, kung ikay bunso or pangalawa, pangatlo, si ate kuya, which is of course share common economic resources. Nagtatrabaho sila, si kuya maybe may trabaho din siya, or si ate. Of course, you live in the same home, the same roof, which you eat lunch, you eat dinner, you share experiences, you share daily experiences pala. So like what is bunso nanggaling school, so ay tay ano to, may na dami ko natutunan sa school, like for this example. And of course si tate ko what is stress sa work, pero kahit paano magkakasama tayo. So basically that is how family works. The family is the universal social institution. Its functions are provide for physical and emotional needs of its members, develop socialization skills, develop valuing, sense of right or wrong, proper behavior, and religious practices. Provides for physical and emotional needs of its members. Physical needs, of course, kung bata ka, of course, you want physical needs from your father na lagi nasa trabaho, hindi mo sila nakakausap, pero dahil kung nandiyan sila, syempre mag-require mo na gusto mo ng hug, gusto mo ng kiss, gusto mo ng pera. Yan. So, kananay, doon nagsisimula yung word na favoritism, which is kung sinong gusto nung magulang, yung kung gusto si bunso, gusto si panganay, gusto si pangalawang bunso, yan. Doon nagkakaroon ng nagkakatalo, which is physical needs, of course. And emotional needs, of course, lahat tayo nalulungkot, lahat tayo natutuwa, lahat tayo na-stress. Kahit bata, gumagawa ng modules, na-stress din yan. Of course, we'll share our emotional na parang nalulungkot ako, gusto ng pera. Joke lang. Yan. Of course, dahil nalulungkot tayo, parents give us their shoulders to share our thoughts, to share our emotional traumas, experiences, na para mag-cope tayo, para mag-recover tayo, para maging normal tayo. Develop socialization skills. Of course, ang una natin makakausap ay mga magulang natin bago pa yung kaibigan natin, best friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, teachers. Ang una natin makakausap ay mga magulang natin. So basically, sila yung unang magtuturo sa atin kung paano may pag-usap, kung paano may magalang, paano magbigay ng po at opo, paano rumispeto sa mga matatanda, which is magsisimula muna sa mga parents yon. Or kung ikaw ay bunso, matututo ka magsalita na malaman yung word na kuya at ate, which is bakit sinasabi natin kuya ate, kasi nga mas tanda sila. And of course, socialization skills para matuto tayo may pag-interaction, para hindi tayo mahiya sa next na makikilala natin, na next na makikita natin ibang muka, which is not our family anymore, which is like friends or different strangers, which we are going to be our future friends. Develop valuing, of course, values and ethics. Our parents teach us values to be ethically right, a sense of right or wrong, to know how to distinguish, to justify, to know kung anong gagawin natin ay kung tama ba talaga to, kung itong gagawin ba natin ay mali. At least yung family natin, tinuturo sa atin na itong pagiging tama, which is approved by the society or approved by your moral behavior, And this is wrong na pwede makasakit or makadiscuss sa ibang tao. Proper behavior, of course, pagiging magalang, and religious practice. Of course, some families are practicing religion like, of course, Filipino Catholics. Some are iglesia, some are born again, some are Christians, some are Muslims, etc., etc. Different, kahit magkakaiba tayo ng religion, our family practice different religion practices, which is good for interaction with the family, have bonding time, which is also good, and of course, have connection with God, with our family. Parents are regarded as their first teachers. Of course, sila yung unang magtuturo sa'yo. Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, sila yung magtuturo sa kung tama at mali, pagiging magalang, magiging masaya, pagiging malungkot, pagiging responsable. At yun lang. Next slide. Education. It refers our second social institution, which is education. It refers to the process in which knowledge, skills, values, and pattern of behavior are transmitted from an individual or group to another. This comes from, dito na papasok yung mga schools, colleges, universities, which is they form a classroom which a group of people, different strangers, turn into a social group na mag-share as our differences and our different skills, different talents, different abilities, and we're going to share those into a great knowledge to have different experiences na mag-unify sa ating lahat. Schooling is formal education, which involves instruction based on a curriculum by professional teachers. School acts as agent of socialization. After the family, lumaki na ang bata, papasok ka na sa school, which is doon ka na magkakaroon ng interaction with other people na hindi mo kakilala instead of your parents and your siblings. Dahil doon, syempre may hiya ka. Matututo kang makipag-socialize. Kung syempre, karamihan nun magsisimula sa hingihan ng papel, hiraman ng ballpen, mga ganong type. Which is good to have connection with the other people, to not be shy with other people, hanggang sa mag-share na kayo ng mga experience nyo, which is mag-share din kayo ng mga same personalities nyo, same gusto niyo, yung mga likes niyo, mga hobbies niyo. Maybe mahilig kayo mag-drawing, mahilig kayo maglaro, ganun. School is just a giant playground for people who want to be a socialized. Of course, school is also a house of learning, which is matututo tayo sa mga teachers natin, matututo din tayo sa mga kasama natin, sa peers natin. Next slide, please. Society's expectation from the 21st century teachers. Number 1, help the students succeed in knowledge society, which is the following: academic achievement, which provides us learning, knowledge from society's expectation from the 21st century teachers, which is our teachers and us future teachers, na magtuturo sa atin at magtuturo sa mga future estudyante natin ng mga different knowledge about science, about math, about different subjects, of course, also morals, ethics, and values. Communication skills. Teachers will be the second parent in the school, second parent of the child, of the students. They will guide those students in not just in academic achievement, and also how to communicate with other people. Communicating with other people starts from the student to teacher. Then after the teacher taught that to the students, yung mga estudyante niyo matututo na silang, hindi na sila mahihiya. Alam na nila kung anong gagawin nila, kung paano makipag-interact, makipag-socialize with their peers or their older than their peers, of course. And yes, communication skills para kung mostly reportings, mga ganon, para hindi sila mahiya sa pag-presentation. ng katulad ng ginagawa ko ngayon. Joke lang. Creative and critical thinking. Dito na magpo-formulate yung problem solvings, which is kuwari magbibigay ng activity si teacher na suitable for the children, na magbibigay ng process ng creative critical thinking sa brain natin, mag-perform ng different equations, formulas, which will solve this kind of problem, which we are going to think outside of the box, or we are going just to may pagtungan na lang tayo sa ibang tao para kasi tamad tayo. Dito lang. Dahil critical thinking, karamihan ng dahil meron ko na balik tayo sa isa, communication skills. Dahil magkakasama na kayo, naisip nyo na, okay, magsama-sama na lang tayo. Para matuto tayo, magsama-sama yung isip nila na isolve yung problem na yon. Yan, it's either dahil sa critical thinking, pwede magtulungan sila. And dun na papasok yung social problem solving. Social problem solving, which is, of course, yun, social. Makikipagkaibigan. Dahil magkaibigan sila, meron ng groups, meron silang peers na sasatisfy na sila. They're going to brainstorming to solve different problems, which is good kung mas marami sila. At ituturo natin mga teachers yung kung paano how these social groups are better than working alone, because we have a saying na there's no man's an island. Workplace skills. Ayun. Teachers, and also students, we're going to teach them skills, how to learn properly, to exchange more experiences, and to solve these problems, and to have different skills in different categories of yung mga course, mga subject, mga professions, yun. Like if you want if this one kid want to be an engineer, din tuturuan natin sila ng paano maging engineer. And not directly, pero syempre, of course, we gotta teach them the basics, which is workplace skills. Next slide, please. Prepare students to be a functioning members of society. Of course, society's expectation to the 21st century teachers. Society already expected us to be a working member of society as teachers. Dahil naturo na sa atin yun, it's our job to teach the younger generation how to be a functioning member of society. That's papasok dun yung pagiging responsable, pagiging masipag, pagiging masinop, which is pareho lang, pagiging how to think critically, which is will benefit in our future, our society's future, and of course, especially their future. Teach virtues such as punctuality, truth, hard work, honesty, hygiene, patriotism, love and sincerity, obedience, etc. Society needs these values to be propagated. Of course, hindi lang tayo laging puro magtuturo ng mga about sa mga subjects to, which is puro math na lang tayo, nakakatamad naman to. Palibasa science teacher ka, hindi lagi science tuturo mo. Syempre, we're going to teach them morals and virtues, which will help them to progress more, dahil they know how to be good, to be a punctual, to be true, to know hard work, which will help them progress through their works, to their dreams and professions in the near future. As we have a quote here from Theodore Roosevelt: to educate a person in mind, not in morals, is to educate a menace to society. So it means that teaching a person just educationally doesn't mean na kailangan mo lang siya turuan about sa knowledge na kailangan niyang aralin. Which is, for example, a teacher will teach a student about business. Dapat tuturuan din ng teacher yung estudyante niya about moral behaviors, kasi lalaki yung yung estudyante yun bilang isang businessman, pero dapat meron din siyang behaviors na will make him recognized as a good businessman. So to educate a person in mind, that having a good knowledge and also have a good moral behavior para ma-avoid natin yung being a menace to society. Number 4, act as the bridge between the school and the community. Of course, teachers are the bridge from the school, the academic institution to the community, which is the students and their parents, and then the other people which connects from the school and the community. Tayong nag-educate, so kung ano yung in-offer ng school na pwede mo rin i-offer sa community. Identify pressing issues and provide enlightenment to society. The 21st century education demands opportunities for the students to develop intellectually, ethically, and aesthetically. So, parang yung ganito, yung kay Theodore Roosevelt, to educate a person in mind. So, hindi lang puro knowledge ituturo natin, ituturo din natin yung how to act as being intellectual and ethical person. And of course, syempre, for being an aesthetical person, which is good overall appearance to different people. Next slide, please. Skills that school needs to develop for the preparation of the students. Academic. The school provides for this is for the schools to kung anong offer ng school to students. Academic. The school provides for development of brand array of knowledge and intellectual skills. School develops problem-solving and critical thinking skills among the students. Of course, academic, which is yung tinuturo ng school, nasa curriculum, nasa module, yun yung offer ng school para sa mga estudyante nila na for learning, as in to have knowledge. Vocational. The school prepares the individual for the world of work and his economic responsibilities. The school develops skills and work habits that will enable them to work in teams. Doon na magsisimula yung working progress, yung pagkakaroon ng dream profession ng isang bata pupunta sa pangarap niya sa paglaki, which is ginaguide ng nating teachers at ina-offer ng school para sa batang yan. Of course, alam na natin, kung gusto maging teacher ng isang bata, tuturuan natin kung paano siya magturo. Kung gusto mag-engineer ng isang bata, tuturuan natin yung mga basics. At yun na, next slide. Social and civic. The school acts as agent of socialization. Students learn how to get along well with others through the various activities they engage in. Of course, schools are a bridge of, like, yung kanina sinabi natin, yung about communication, school host communication. So, doon magsisimula yung socialization, yung pakikipag-usap sa ibang tao, pagkakaroon ng grupo at pagkakaroon ng pakikipagkaibigan. Personal. This pertains to development of individual talent and self-expression. The school provides the total development of the individual, including creativity and authenticity. Dito yung ma-form yung individual talent mo, mapapahubog mo yun, which will distinguish you different from others, which is good na magkakaroon ka ng special talent para sa sarili mo at pwede yun pagmalaki ng isang estudyante habang nag-aaral siya sa school. Next slide, please. We have in our third social institution, which is religion. It is a system of rules and norms that involve faith, which binds people together in social groups. The church is an institutionalized organization of religious believers following a body of doctrine or dogma. So religion, since alam naman ng history natin ng Pilipinas, Filipinos start schooling from churches. Our first teachers are priests and friars. So, yung system na yun, nagpatuloy yun hanggang ngayong current period, which is nagtuturo sa atin ng different ethical and moral lessons about life, and of course religion. Okay, this is the following function of religion. Religion teaches the church. Religion and church, hindi nakalagay yung church. Teach the function of religion. It depends on kung anong religion ka, Catholic ka man, Christian ka man, or Muslim ka. So, social cohesion. So social cohesion is sabihin natin for para siyang band ng pakikipag-socialize for these certain people, for these people to have bond, to gain trust to each other. So that is social cohesion. Social control is to avoid magkamali tayo sa society natin, to avoid bad norms and to follow norms and avoid bad practices that will affect our social interactions. Emotional support. Religion offers mostly emotional support when it is common na yung mga tao na ginagawa nilang coping para hindi sila hindi sila magkaroon ng mental problems, which is yung stress, dinadaan nila sa prayer, sa having bonding with your family in churches, and etc. Next slide, please. Religious beliefs encourage strengthening of bonds among people, cultivate social solidarity, conscience among the believers. So ito yung sa social cohesion, which is yun nga nag-form nga ng bonds and having different interaction with the different interaction people or aka believers in this particular religion. Religion provides meaning of life. It fosters closeness, love, cooperation, and helpfulness among its members. So, ito yung kanina yata rin sa social control and also emotional support na yun nga nagkakaroon ng turuan ng morals, which is to avoid bad norms, and of course nagkakaroon ng emotional support sa isa't isa to learning religion. Religion guides people to conform the norms and values of society. Specific religion norms of conduct and values control the behavior of the members. They become the standards to follow. The church has an intense influence over the beliefs, principles, and practice of its believers. So, yung pinag-aralan mo yung natutunan mo sa loob ng simbahan, which is yung practice na yun na magiging norms and which is give values na magiging values ng every member, at yun ay magiging standards na ayun nga yung magiging i-follow, magiging normal na expected sa'yo na kuwari you go to church, that yung standards mo na ugali, behavior to religion. Next slide, please. And we have our last social institution, which is government. It is an institution that holds the power to make and enforce the rules and laws of society. The ruling body must be recognized by its people to enforce the laws or rules and govern them. In the democratic type of government, the citizens elect their official periodically to govern them for the period. So government, if we consider it social institution, it will offer learning about how society functions, of course, in a political way, kung paano bumoto, and how to know their future leaders, and yes, know how to what is right for our country. So currently, may mag-election 2022. So this type of social institution, which I think which is supposedly na mag-guide sa atin to teach us to learn both wisely and responsibly. That is all of my lessons about social teachers as active members of social institutions. And going to pass this next slide to our next reporter.
Okay. So after we discuss about the different institutions we have in the society, let's now go and talk about the roles and responsibilities of teachers in those different institutions we have tackled in the last topic. Okay, next slide. So now we have the mind map about the teacher's role in the society, which it's in the center of the map and have branches consisted of different institutions in the society that are the family, the government, the religion, and the education, which are the schools we have. Okay? So, in the next slides or in the next topics, we'll see or we'll talk about the parts or the involvement of the teachers in the society, and we'll see how they are very much important in the institutions we have in the society. Okay, next slide. This slide is about the role of teachers in the family. We always says that our parents, or mostly our mothers, are the first teacher we had when we were younger. They taught us about the basic things we should know academically, or even the basic things we should know about surviving in the real world and in the real life. So, how teachers or how professional teachers are involved or part of the ideas and knowledge that our parents pass on us when they are teaching? We'll answer that as most of our parents went to school when they are young. Am I right? Whether they are undergraduate or did not finish their studies and courses, the important thing or the thing that we should know here is that they went to school. They met different professional teachers. They had knowledge and ideas from them, and some of those ideas and knowledge that they got will not be forget by them and pass on us when they are teaching. So even the time that we're not yet enrolled in any schools, professional teachers already have their part in our life. It's the knowledge of a member of a family who became a professional teacher just passed on knowledge that is obviously our parents' knowledge now. Next slide, please. And this slide will see the role and responsibilities of a teacher when it comes to school or in education. Teachers here are the role model of all the students, and we should show how to be a good person, a good citizen, and a good member of a society. As teachers here are the molders and the developers of the students, they are also the one, or they are also the person who will transmit the knowledge and ideas and will be the bridge for a good future of the students. So next slide. Okay. And this slide will see the teacher's role in different ways when it talks about the schools or in education. Academically, teachers should teach students to be a problem solver and a critical thinker. In vocational, teachers should teach students to be ready and capable to work in the future. In social and civic, teachers should also need to make a way for the students to know how to socialize with others. And lastly, Interpersonal, teachers should also help students to boost their confidence, or maybe they can help students to show their talents, and it will help students to go out of their box. Okay, next slide. Here is the role and responsibility of a teacher when it comes to their religion. As teachers have responsibilities to make way and help out students to have faith to our God. Educators can use their opportunity to introduce religions in the students, and in the next slide, we'll see why educators or the teachers should be involved when it comes or when we talks about religion. Okay, next slide. Social cohesion. Teachers should be the way to build a conscience or the conscience of the students, as it can also lead to a peaceful society. Next is social control. As usually, our students or the students have trust to the teachers. It can be used by the teachers to help them out for a better or good decision making. And lastly, for emotional support. Teachers can provide activities for the students to build affections for each other. And for the next slide is the role and responsibility of a teacher when it comes to the government. In government, teachers have their roles and should be responsible for making the students a good follower, as when they become a good follower, they can also be a good leader at the future. Teachers should also educate students regarding how to abide and to know about the rules, the regulations, and the laws we have in our society or in our nation. And this is the last slide for the roles and responsibilities of the teachers when it comes to the institutions we have in our society.
So this is the last part of our webinar, and this topic is all about the ABC of being a good teacher. It is the terminologies from A to Z that consisting a characteristic or a certain phrases that defines a good teacher. So let's start with letter A. Letter A is accept. It is only means that accept your students for who they are. If may problema ka sa attitude nila or behavior, then i-accept mo sila but their wrongdoings. As our job is to teach them, bilang isang guro, kailangan ituro natin sa kanila yung tamang attitude na kailangan nila. Kaya nga tayo so accept your students. Letter B is believe. When you believe in your students, they do better. Di ba napapansin natin yon? Kapag pinapakita natin na naniniwala tayo sa estudyante natin, nagkakaroon sila ng lakas ng loob to do better, di ba? Yung without any pressure, let's encourage them to believe in themselves and to become better also. So we must believe in their potential. Next is letter C. Letter C is consider. Consider is one of the characteristics of being a teacher should have. You are expected to care about your students, especially with their academic performance. As a teacher, when you have that students becoming active in academics, mapapansin naman natin yun eh. What we need to do is i-approach natin sila. Confront them. Sometimes, we need to be considerate sa mga batang nahihirapan talaga. Kung nahihirapan silang mag-open up sa'yo, then tayo yung mag-first move para sa kanila. Kasi, minsan, or you can express concern naman by giving them due considerations. Halimbawa, kung valid naman yung reason ng estudyante mo, you can give them or remedial if their reason is valid, okay? But assess first the students or the student and then consider their circumstances. Okay? Our next letter is letter D, dedicate. Dedicate your lessons to them. Okay? So, when teaching, make sure to make full efforts, to give your full efforts, and show your mastery towards the lessons. In order for them to gain more knowledge. Okay? Sometimes kasi nagre-reflect yung dedication mo sa pagturo sa estudyante mo. Kasi pag maging maganda yung feedback sa'yo, maaalala ka nila. And naalala ka nila dahil sa dedication mo. Okay? And next is letter E, empathize. Simple lang to eh. So, empathize with your students as you wish more teachers had empathized with you. So, respect and empathy ang kailangan with both students and teachers. So, letter F, focus. So, you have two goals as a teacher. To focus on learning. Ito yung mga bagay na tinuturo mo, pinapagawa mo sa estudyante mo. And yung isa ay yung estudyante mismo. Kumbaga, you can treat them as the most important thing in the world. Kaya kailangan ka makafocus, kailangan ka lang nakafocus sa kanila. It's your goal as a teacher. And that is your kayamanan. Okay? And letter G is guarantee. Guarantee your students that they will do well if they try. Okay? So, encourage your student na make them guaranteed and safe na kaya nilang gumawa pa ng mas maganda. They can do better pa. Basta always remind them na don't be afraid to try. Okay? Walang mawawala kung susubukan mo. You try and I guarantee you will do well. Okay? And that's it. So, the next reporter is Ma'am Eliza Venus to discuss remaining letters of the alphabet of being a good teacher.
Hi, I'm Eliza Mercy Venus and I'm here again to discuss letter H to N in the ABCs of a good teacher. Letter H means help. Help everyone. As an educator, one of our aims should be to help out all of our students to learn new things and to let them know that our hands are always open to lend to them whenever they need help. Letter I means initiate. Teachers should know how to begin a good interaction and connection with the students, as it can be the way to develop a good relationship between them, the students and the teacher. Letter J means joke. It is not that bad to make jokes in the class. Teachers can put energy and get the attentions of the students by its way, by joking. Letter K means kindle. Teachers should know how to set the mood of the class by stimulating and knowing the interest of each student. Letter L means learn. Learn from your students. Learning should not be only for students. We, the educators, should also learn from them. This is how a healthy discussion should be done as always. Letter M means motivate. Motivate your students. Motivate by sharing examples of your own experience that led to you becoming the best version of yourself. Students can always look at their good and bad experiences as motivation to be successful in life. And lastly is letter N, nourish. Nourish, sustain, nurture, and feed the minds of our students with the positive things to make them enthusiastic and get positive learnings in the class. And that's all for letter H, the letter N, and the ABCs of a good teacher.
So for the letters O to T ng ABCs of a good teacher, ako po ulit ito si Julia. Nagbabalik. So yun. Letter O, open your heart. A good teacher must know how to deal with slow learners, the ones with a bad attitude, and the unpopular ones. So pag teacher ka, hindi ka lang dapat dun sa mga batang gifted, nagpo-focus. Dapat hindi mo nire-neglect yung mga kabalikan kasi di ba sa classroom, hindi natin may tatanggi na may ganun talagang sitwasyon na may mga batang mahina talagang umintindi or may mga batang nasa iba ang focus or yung mga mahiyain. So, dapat hindi mo sila nini-neglect as a teacher. Dapat kasama din sila sa mga iintindihan mo, hindi yung parang ang mindset mo is, huwag na itong mga batang ito, yung mga yung mga wala ng pag-asa. Hindi dapat ganun. Dapat, dapat ay pati sila. Dapat isip ka ng paraan kung paano sila, sa anong paraan ba sila mas madaling matututo or ano yung mga gawain na mas makakakuha ng attention nila at saka para ma-boost din yung confidence nila para hindi sila mahihayin. So, ayun. Letter P. Practice what you preach. Dito naman, ay yun nga, yung, di ba, mga teacher tayo, kailangan kung ano yung sinasabi natin, yung ginagawa din natin. Sana tayo, mga future science teachers, so malamang ang gagawin na, ang palagi natin sasabihin sa bata is save our mother nature, ganyan. Kaya lang, yun yung motto, sorry, yun yung motto mo, pero ikaw naman itong makalat. Saka ikaw din itong ang sasakyan ay maitim ang binubugang usukan. So, walang sense. Walang nababaliwala yung mga pinagsasabi mo. Hindi ka, kumbaga wala kang impact na may bibigay sa bata. Siguro masamang impact na. So, yun, pero hindi mo sila ma-encourage na maging mabuti kasi ikaw hindi mo rin yung ginagawa. So, yun. Next, letter Q. Question yourself from time to time. So, ito naman, ask yourself yung mga tanong na, syempre, magbibigay din ng improvement sa'yo. So, halimbawa, tanongin mo sarili mo. Una, halimbawa, mukha ka ba teacher? I mean, syempre, tayo mga future teacher, dapat may, pag teacher ka, hindi dapat laging excuse yung don't judge the book by its cover. Ganyan. Teacher tayo, so we should know better. So, kapag hindi, edi mag-improve ka. Basta, maging presentable ka man lang. So, next, yung isa pang pwede magtanong sa sarili mo is kung hindi mo ba inaabuso yung power mo. Baka masyado ka ng baka masyado mo nang iaangat yung sarili mo or masyado mong nililimit yung bata. Kasi ako may experience na gano'n yung teacher namin. Ano, hindi talaga niya, hindi mo siya pwedeng, hindi siya tumatanggap ng correction. Parang, basta, pag kung ano sabihin niya, tama lahat. Basta siya lagi, teacher siya, estudyante lang kami. So, dapat hindi gano'n. So, kapag halimbawa, napapansin mo na gano'n ka na, so, improve ulit ng sarili. Konting puso sa mga ano, tsaka wag masyadong high blood. So, ayun, letter R. Remember everyone's, sa letter R, remember. So, ito na, remember everyone's name as quickly as you can. So, dito naman, simpleng effort pero malaki yung impact sa bata kasi maiisip ng bata na, kumbaga, mas personal yung magiging atake ng mga lessons mo dahil alam ng bata na kilala mo sila. At saka yung pag-alaala rin sa mga pangalan nila ay maganda rin paraan para makakonect sa kanila. So, para din sa mas magandang connection mo as a teacher at saka sa estudyante. So, pag maganda connection nyo, ay mas effective yung pagtuturo, mas maganda yung daloy ng teaching. So, letter S, ito ay set an example by the way you dress, teach, act, and treat everyone. So, yun nga, kagaya kanina. So, teacher ka, ikaw yung nilulook up ng mga bata. At saka kung tutusin, halos ang mga bata, mas mahabang oras na nakakasalamuhan nila is yung mga teacher kaysa sa mga magulang. Kasi, kumbaga, dun sa buong 8 hours na yun, gising ang bata ay yung natitirang halimbawa nasa bahay na may oras pa din doon na yung gabi na natutulog. So, kumbaga bilang mga second parent, dapat nating ipakita sa bata kung ano ba dapat sa atin makita kung ano ba yung dapat na maging asal ng hindi lang teacher, ng ethical na tao. So, kahit hindi naman ganun kabanal na banal. So, basta, So, ayun, last letter T, treat everyone equally. A good teacher, pag teacher ka, wala ka dapat favorite. Kaya kanina naman ito, dapat lahat binibigyan mo ng attention. And at the same time, yung maging equal ka rin na teacher, maging fair kang teacher, dun sa way of teaching mo. Kasi malay mo halimbawa, kaya mo na naging paborito yung batang yun kasi yun na lang naging yung sagot na sagot. Paano kung kaya pala siya na lang din yung sagot na sagot? Dahil siya lang yung nakakaintindi or yung nakikinabang dun sa technique mo as a teacher. Halimbawa, puro ka lang discuss. Paano yung mga estudyante mo na visual learners, diba? So, dapat yung teaching mo is inclusive para sa lahat. Yung lahat ay sabay-sabay matututo, walang maiiwan. Ayun, next na po. Next reporter na po. Ayun, thank you.
So to continue the ABCs of a good teacher, so for letter U, we have the word understand. Every student is different, and a good teacher must remember that in order to have a better learning environment that a student can enjoy learning, he or she should feel understood. So as a teacher, paano ba natin mapapakita or mapaparamdam na sila ay ating naiintindihan? Siyempre by appreciating their differences, their distinctions, their capabilities or abilities, or their different kinds of intelligence. So, according to Gardner's theory of multiple intelligence, that we have 8 kinds of intelligence. So, sabihin, hindi porket hindi magaling sa academics is hindi na magaling sa lahat ng bagay. Okay? So, that's why we have this multiple intelligence na tinatawag. And as a teacher, we should know this in order for us to appreciate our student even more and also help them to appreciate themselves. So the first intelligence that we have is linguistic. ito yung mga taong they know to find the right words to say, or they have the ability for public speaking and such. So second is yung spatial. They have the ability to visualize or appreciate art. And third one is the naturalist. These are the people who understand nature, understand living things or our surrounding. So, ito yung mga may green thumb, ganun, and such. So, next one is musical. So, from the word itself, they are the people who are musically inclined. They know how, or they know their sense of rhythm, their sounds, and ganun. So, next one is the bodily kinesthetic. Ito naman yung mga taong may coordination ng kanilang mind and body. So, ito yung mga athletics o mga athletes or mga sports inclined. So, next one is logical, mathematical. So, from the word itself, mathematical, they are the people who are good in numbers. And of course, mga logical, they are good in logics or assessing the situations. So, for me, ito yung mga academically inclined na mga tao. So next one is interpersonal. So these are the people who can assess other people's feelings or emotion. Sabihin or simply ito yung mga taong marunong makisama or magaling makasama without even worrying, ganyan. And syempre, kabaligtaran ng interpersonal is the intrapersonal. Ito naman yung mga taong they know or they understand themselves so much more than anyone. So it is actually considered as an intelligence. So for V, the word is visualize. A good teacher influences students to visualize their dreams and help them to achieve that ambition, leading to success. That achievement of students is also an achievement for good teachers. So, as a good teacher, kailangan you are visualizing a brighter future for your students, and you are doing your best to lead them to that success. Kasi ang achievement ng students mo is also an fulfillment para sa'yo as a teacher. So for W naman is the word is work. Teaching requires a lot of workloads that equates to working hard as it is a challenging profession. So a good teacher should always remember to have courage for what you believe in. So as we all know, teaching profession is sobrang daming ginagawa, hindi lang about teaching students, but also um, doing modules and writing modules, IMs, lesson plans, but all of that sacrifices is for the students, para sa kanilang kalagayan or para sa kanilang future. So, as pre-service teachers, we should always be reminded to appreciate the work of our professions or our professors kasi tayo rin naman ang gagawa niyan in the future. So, for letter X, we have expect. So, as we all know, hindi naman siya letter X nagsisimula, but it is an exemption. So, for expect, a good teacher must always look forward for a positive outlook from every student because each one of them possesses different kinds of intelligence. So, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, we have 8 kinds of intelligence na kailangan nating malaman in order for us to appreciate our students and expect a positive outlook for their future. So for Y, we have the word yield. Assess every circumstance that a good teacher may encounter and yield or surrender if it's not under your control. So as a teacher, kailangan you know your battles or you know kung ano yung papatulan or hindi. And also, always remember that, that as a teacher, you are the role model for students. So last but definitely not the least is Z for zealous. Teaching is a noble profession as it requires good teacher to become zealous. It at all times in order to build bonds with students, look forward to teaching, and be inspired and fulfilled to influence the life of every student for a brighter future. So, ibig sabihin, ang synonym ng zealous is actually eagerness. Ibig sabihin, as a teacher, you should be eager to teach your students and influence them to have a brighter future, to be a productive citizen or professional someday. So that completes the ABCs of a good teacher.
Thank you so much for listening, and these are modules for today, and we are going to summarize from our teaching missions, teaching vocations, teaching professions, are the meaning of ikigai, the personal and professional qualities of a teacher, and different social institutions that offers to our teachers, to us future teachers, and to their respective students, and the ABCs of a good teacher. I hope you listen to us and have a nice day.